The darkest of souls, who now hold the sittings and the strings to all the gutless puppets who occupy the ruling positions of most world governments, most of the world dictators, as there are no real leaders in any political or religious office. They have been bought off by those who control the monetary system. And it certainly is not the U.S. Treasury, because they have been taken over since 1913 and even before that. So it's very important that each person learn about their dream visions and all that is taking place in this world now, because most people are very trapped subliminally without the knowledge of it being so what is taking place. I have said many times it is a matrix dream, and the certain few, the elite world controllers, have most of the population believing that they're the ones, like the president and the Pope. Everyone needs to look to their supposed salvation as they propagate, "In God we trust." While Miss Sophie was impressed by the Gestapo, she would look at the window and stare at the sun in the sky, as the sun represents the all-is on the earth. She was not aware of the true reality at the time, but her heart knew something more real existed. When Sophie and her brother were tried and convicted by the malignant politicians who sentenced them as she walked out to be executed, she said to her brother, "The sun is still shining. Nature holds a very vital key to each one of us to eventually recognize and realize the true reality. For the most part, the technology of today is part of the ploy to keep people as slaves to this world and many lifetimes to come. It is a real truth on this world that only a very few will discover real freedom. Real freedom now. And it will only come to be when a person is willing to totally listen and be shown what is real. What is real now and the real universal guides. Would you remark on that? And it's getting kind of late.
Does area code 224 have any comments or questions? If not, Tim, do you have anything? Do you have any comments?
Sure. It's how this modern technology we're using seems to be being used by them. It's just part of the ploy, Dwayne states, how we're being controlled by all these, whatever you want to call them, dark brats or scum and butthead evil people, using fear and trying to make it so that everybody believes in them and what they say. It's just amazing that we all have to go through this stuff of not being aware of what's real and true going on. But it looks like it's time for some on Earth to be given the opportunity to find out what is true, what's real, and share it with others, so we don't have to be coming back in these psych realms and having to deal with brutalitarian, authoritarian, scum and butthead people. It's very important stuff. What we're trying to share with others and what Dwayne has brought out in his Adventure Is series books and in his Skype groups and Facebook posts and all the effort that he's making to help people that are ready to totally listen and be shown what's real. So it's just a wonderful opportunity that seems like it's only going to be around for a certain period, and either you're ready to start paying attention and listen, or you're not. It's a warning.
Well, it is really an opportunity. People, wake up, look what's going on. Our food, our water, the air, everything is right there telling us to wake up. Will we do that? This is an opportunity that we don't have to come back to these worlds. There's so much more out there. Life is just huge. There are opportunities everywhere that we can live a free life and be happy. We don't know really what happiness is. It's just really our mind, the things we do, or what we have uncovered in everyday life. But there's so much more, such a bigger opportunity here. And we do not have to come back to these dark worlds. Here is one of the many examples of those in control. Do not want others to know what they're doing. When the dark brats are discovered for what they've done, they either cover it up or eliminate those who are most heavenly involved. Here was Sophie and her brother simply putting words on paper, as they did have a right to express themselves. And for those few words which could have been expressed in the most derogatory fashion, they were murdered, because only the dark brats can create propaganda and distort people's minds. Today we have the internet, and there's a lot of stuff on it. I'm amazed myself what people put on the web. But then again, what I am presenting is really far out for a lot of people. Society is a state of unrest, as there are big changes now occurring because of the created causes from the past. Anything that is out of balance with the all is soon shows up, and many times it is deemed as a natural disaster. The dark brats, with all they have learned over lifetimes, have a huge assortment of backup plans when things don't go their way. But eventually, they must face what they have done and learn to balance out their own lives. All of this gets into the power area, which becomes so with those who decide to take things into their own hands and conquer others. This can be with the forming of armies or even the business world, where a person contrives to steal and manipulate situations or others for their own personal gain. Very few will discover, and most of all realize, the all is, because it is far too real. It is not that a person simply finds and realizes the true reality, but that they live with it and perceive what it is and its true purpose. The all is stands in its own reality, and there is no dualistic nature to it, as it is the true source and not the parts that we experience from this physical level. Its true position is far too broad for our human mind to comprehend, and so the gods of men have been invented to take its place. As all this has been established, people have been conditioned to a fallacy which from their limited experience seems so real as does a toy to a child. Here is where humans become engrossed in their own exaggerated egos and vanity, thinking in their little minds they really do know something, and just because they can think and imagine, they can create whatever they want to, as it all must come out the way that they deem it to be. And it may, but only for a short time, even if that small amount of time is millions of years. The effects always show up. A close study of one's dream visions becomes very beneficial. Wow. You better pay attention, folks. At the heart of mankind's dilemma, we find a very interesting fact that most people overlook, and that is the blatant control factor of the belief systems and what they have termed as confession. This invented idea of the church has caused more nightmares than many of the wars and battles humans have endured over the ages. It's not hard to see why the belief systems have implemented confession as the taskmaster for unaware people to grovel in. The idea is to tell the priest one's sins, and then all will be taken care of. Even if a person has no such deeds to their name, the idea is the same. One must confess something. This just gets this idea going. The reality and undermining current of what the church has created, this idea is to hold people to an unconscious level. If they cannot do it on the physical one, the belief systems put into motion the idea of confession a long time ago as our continued connection to those whom they do not even have personal contact with. These dark-hearted brats actually do black magic on their followers in an unsuspecting way. It is all done through their dreams. Many of them have learned how to enter a person's dreams and set the stage for what they want to happen, which is usually along the lines of control and persuasion. I have personally witnessed Jared and Durwood doing this with their unsuspecting membership many times, and especially Jared's wife, Crone, as she is the influence personified in this physical realm. There are many like these who have organizations and corruption that work hard hand in hand with the influence. In 1984, the movie Dreamscape is an excellent example of what is taking place without the public knowing. In it, scientists have learned how to enter a person's dreams and then take charge. Rosemary's Baby in 1968, that movie gave an excellent example of what can take place as a woman was raped by the devil and then had its child. The truth is, there is not just one devil, but millions of them, as humans continually create their own demons. The future and make contracts and other unseen realms that these creatures reside in. Okay, it's just about time for the bedtime stories to end for this evening. Thank you, Dean Val and Kim, our very sweet and dear friends. Good night, you all, and pleasant dreams. Let's sing the new you.
Good night. Happy dreams. Thanks again, Lila. Yeah, we'll see ya.